Now let's take a couple of moments to discuss that final tool of the EMR that was never really discussed in our overview of the patient's chart, the follow-up tool. The follow-up tool appears as a rightward facing arrow, and it is located directly to the right of the encounter sheet drop-down menu. When this arrow is pointing to the right, it implies that you have started from scratch with either an encounter form or a canned sheet. Typically, this will be the case. I have just completed a long-winded initial evaluation for the shoulder of a new patient that I'm seeing. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to review all of the information that I put in by clicking on the View Narrative button. Here we see all of the information that I have put in here for this patient for the first time that I've seen him. Now I'm going to save this chart as complete. Now that I've saved this chart, and let's keep in mind that the patient's name is first name patient, last name test, I can close this chart. I can now continue with charting patients for the rest of the day. Let's now pretend that this first name patient, last name test comes in for a follow-up the next week. So we'll open up that patient's chart. And we'll say to ourselves, I can start a daily note on this patient, and if in doing so I would start from scratch with a brand new encounter sheet, probably having to fill in all of their subjective information such as medications, family history, and so forth all over again. Or I could simply take a copy of that complete chart I did last week and just change whatever is different in this visit. So let's do that. Let's make a follow-up chart. Again, the follow-up tool is located directly to the right of the encounter sheet drop-down menu. If I click the arrow one time, it will point to the left. And now you can see that the encounter sheet has changed to say follow-up chart, and the drop-down menu now says select follow-up chart. If we click on this drop-down option, we see a list of all of the charts that have ever been saved as complete for this patient. In most cases, you'll want to select simply the most recent chart that you've completed. Typically, these are the most up-to-date and they will be the most relevant to your visit. So we'll open this most recent chart. You'll notice in the upper right corner that it's changed from new consultation chart to follow-up chart, and we'll click that button to open it up right now. Once open, we can see that there's been work done due to the orange text. We can also click on the View Narrative button to take a look at what's been done. And from here, we can review the patient's information from their last visit. And we can say, okay, it looks like I did some information for range of motion on the shoulder. Let's do another manual muscle test this week to see how things are going. And we can change information in the manual muscle test. We can go to special tests and change things in here that are no longer relevant. Did the diagnosis change? Probably not. Did patient education change? Probably not. The prognosis? Still good. In daily reports, the idea is that not a whole lot is going to change from the first time you saw that patient. So really, once we're set with everything that we need to change, most likely an objective, we can click Save as Complete and be done with this patient. This allows us to create a follow-up chart, get in and out of this EMR in 15 seconds to 20 seconds per patient. We close the chart and we're ready to do a follow-up chart on the next patient who's here.